Okay, we are not recording. Okay, welcome first class to Tribal Council, um, where one of you will be the sixth person voted out. Um, I wanted to start this question with Alex, as he was the one to step up to play for your tribe in Jeopardy. Alex, let's talk me through the challenge, how you felt about it, and to give us what went down.
All right, so first I'd like to say that Alex Trebek is better at hosting Jeopardy than Josh is, but
Okay.
Amen.
he tried his best. He tried his best, you know. That's all that matters. No, I stepped up for the tribe to do the challenge, and I lost the challenge, and I felt bad about it, but my tribe reassured me that that's not going to be a big factor because, frankly, I think that um, I'm not saying that everyone on this tribe that would have competed in the challenge would have lost it, but I feel like it would have been hard for anyone to compete against two really smart people on the other tribes. So, you know, it is what it is. We're here. Let's play.
Okay. My next question is for Megan. So you have been able to climb the ladder in terms of from third to second to first. So like give us a little bit of a thought process on how you've been on now three different tribes and how that affects your gameplay and how you want to play the game.
I don't know. I mean, on one hand, I'm like, ooh, I can just like gloat because hopefully I will end up being the only person who's been on all three tribes. I'm hoping there's not another swap at some point because I'm ready to merge. But so I can just be like, I was the bitch. I was Chris Evans. I climbed my way from the bottom to the top. Just kidding. We're here at tribal, so first class isn't always champagne and fun. But I think it could affect my game. It could go either well for me or bad for me. People could either see it as like an asset and be like, oh, well, you've maybe gotten a lot of information since you've switched around a lot more, so I want to work with you. Or people could see that as something that's dangerous because you've been on every tribe, you've talked to every or almost everyone at this point, and you might potentially have more information than other people, so that's a reason to vote you out. Um, so I'm just kind of hoping it's the former. And people just love me for it because I'm famous, because I climbed to the top and everyone wants to work with me and everyone loves me. And everyone just lets Megan get first place and win the whole game. That's what I'm hoping happens. That's what I think should happen. But if I end up going tonight because of that, I mean, that would suck. But like, again, both are valid reasons to like want to look at my game, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. So just
Okay,
hope it's
cool.
good.
Josh V. How do you factor short-term and long-term decision making in this game, especially on a very small tribe of five?
So I think like a lot of us are speculating that this next round could be a merge. So it's like we're getting down to like the nitty gritty where like we're gonna be down to like I don't know, like 10 or 11 people left. So I think like if for like the next round or two, people are probably thinking about like who is the one person you do not want to bring into merge, and it would definitely factor a lot of people's decision making on like what the next 2 3 steps ahead. So I think all of us here are trying to think like what's the next best thing for this round. So I think it's going to be very interesting to see where the next few rounds are going to go if I'm still here by the end of this.
Okay, my next question is for Josh R. So, Josh, you've never attended a tribal council so far this season. Does that make you feel uncomfortable as you haven't been able to form the bonds that maybe other people have?
Okay, well, thank you for bringing that up. And since you just threw me under the bus like that, Drew's never been to one either. So, um,
Hey,
you know what?
I still haven't asked Drew a question.
Okay. I just feel like I shouldn't be sharing the spotlight. Like, or I shouldn't be alone in the spotlight. I need to be sharing it with Drew. But no, like I feel like yes, losing challenges and going to tribal council does help solidify bonds, but so does winning. And so does like having like just good conversations with people. And so I feel like because we
we all won that swap challenge to get together, and we won the challenge after that. Like, I feel like that's been a good bonding experience. So I feel like just because I haven't gone to tribal council doesn't mean I haven't had those bonding experiences. So I think one, in this case, they don't necessarily equal each other. Like, not going to tribal doesn't necessarily mean that I haven't been able to bond with people, because I feel like on this tribe, there are some people that I have been able to bond with. And I mean, on the same side, I feel like there are some people who have been quiet lately. So it's just, I think it depends on the group of people.
Okay, my next question is for Drew. So Drew, you have not attended a tribal council either, but how do you feel that the role of original classes and where people come from plays into tonight's vote?
I mean, it can factor into everything because like you have spent more time with some rather than others because you were on the same tribe before. But things change. You could be on a tribe with somebody who you have had a connection with. You could be on the same tribe that you were previously that you haven't had a connection with. So I don't necessarily think that will factor into anything. Because at the end of the day, like, there's only one winner. You got to do what you got to do to move forward. You just, at this point in time right now, you just have to base it off of who you feel most connected with and who you feel like would have your back if needed be moving forward.
And this is kind of an open-ended question to everyone, and so feel free to chime in if you'd like. Do any of you guys feel that you can be able to form a bond even if you haven't been able to spend a lot of time with them?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I think
like one conversation can change your whole entire game. Like, you can be with somebody for a good amount of the game and have a connection with them, but then meet somebody who you haven't played and y'all are just like two peas in a pod.
Also, we can't forget that like this isn't actually real Survivor, and we do actually like know people around here, and so like regardless of where you were on tribes, there's still going to be like either pre-existing friendships or just connections or anything that might even be easier for you to connect with more people over others.
Okay, so I want to elaborate on that if you'd like. So how would you weigh game dynamics over pre-existing relationships?
I mean, I personally think that like I usually just pay more attention to what's going on in the current game, but I meant that in the sense that like if you know somebody from before, or at least had a conversation with them before, sometimes it's then just easier to initiate a normal flowing conversation with them, like regardless of how much time you spent with them on the tribe. So like if like me and Drew, this is obvious, me and Drew are like close friends outside of games. So like it's easier for me to just have a conversation with Drew because I know his communication style, as opposed to somebody who's a complete stranger to me that I'm just meeting. It might take a couple more minutes for like us to warm up to each other. I don't necessarily mean in terms of like the gameplay, because I don't like I like starting each game with like a blank slate in terms of who I want to work with, but just in terms of communication, sometimes it's easier when you know someone to get a good flow going.
Each game's a different game.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting. Okay. That is all the questions I have. Nick, do you have anything?
Can I was gonna add something if that's
Oh,
okay.
go ahead. Yes, go by all means.
No, I think like going back to your original question is like, for me anyways, I don't find it very hard to make connections with people, because like there are so many different ways that you can connect with people. Like, I mean, for example, there are two of us on this tribe with the same first name. And so that right there for me is like, boom, that's a connection. No, but it's true. It's the simplest little things of like, that's a connection. And now Josh and I have a start of a bond that we can then grow upon. So you don't necessarily have to get onto a tribe with someone and be best friends from the first second you meet. It's more about, okay, how can I start building those relationships and establishing those connections? And so for me, I sort of look for, okay, what are the little things that I can connect with people to start building those relationships? Because I'm not expecting us to be like final two allies from like the second that we start talking to each other. So it's like, you have to, with each new set of people you meet, you have to start building those connections from the ground up. And it's really easy to just start with something very simple. So I think I never underestimate meeting new people, because one, I love meeting new people, but also it's really easy to connect with people. So it's just putting in the work to find those connections.
Okay, Nick, you have anything?
Yes, as this is some of your guys' first tribal council, I want to ask, how do you vote somebody out right now, pick yourselves back up, and fight to not be back here?
I mean, personally, for me, honestly, I think after this round it's going to be a merge. So, I honestly, I like, for me, with this being my first tribal, like, if I'm to survive this and go to the next one, chances are I'm gonna have to go to a tribal anyway. So, like, it's kind of like one of those, like, might as well get it out the way now and see who really has your back and who doesn't.
Yeah, I think for me, it's like I know, like, you have to go to tribal council at some point. It's part of the game. And so it's just like, at least for me, it's like I'm just focused on trying to get through this tribal council, and then I'll worry about getting through the next one whenever I get there. So that's kind of, I'm just trying to get through one thing at a time.
Alrighty. And finally, if you feel you are in danger tonight, please raise your hand. That's everyone. Alrighty, Joshy.
Okay, with that being said, if anyone has anything else to say, but if not, please confirm your votes in your prod chat. I'll give you 2 minutes to do so. Feel free to say some shout outs in the meantime.
Oh my God, shout out to Dan and God. Shout out to everybody that's in my prod chat. So shout out to Jesse first, shout out to Blake Murphy, shout out to my boyfriend Jeremy, shout out to Christian, shout out to Gabby, shout out to Cindy. I think that's all that's in my prod chat. Shout out to the VL who probably hates me. Shout out to Josh Duolingo, shout out to Nick, shout out to Madison, shout out to Keaton. Shout out to Tawny, RIP, the Spectre of Second.
I was just gonna give a shout out to my Zaddy Sunshine. Like, damn.
I don't have anyone in my prod chat to shout out, but if you want to be in my prod chat, hit me up.
My prod chat is a
Good
whole
job,
ass
Cindy.
tribe. We had a tribal council in my prod chat to vote someone.
The
Or we
right
said we were
person.
going to. We didn't end up holding it, but we said we're going to. It's gonna be guys versus.
The right person was ejected from the prod chat.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, someone.
I have the votes. If anyone has a hidden immunity idol or form of advantage and you would like to play it, now would be the time to do so. Okay, I will read the votes. First vote, Josh R. Second vote, Josh V. Third vote, Josh V. That's 2 votes Josh V, 1 vote Josh R. Fourth vote, and the 6th person voted out of the tribe, Josh V.
Had the damn idol in my pocket too. Oh well. A good try, guys. I did whatever I can do. I wish I should have done it. Oh well. Best of luck, guys. Have fun.
Sorry, Josh.
Josh, I love you.
Good game though.
Game only. Let's be
Yeah,
friends.
game only, Josh.
Now you got people coming for your asses. Have fun.
I can't wait.
Josh V,
Oh,
he
wow.
left,
What?
but
I'm sorry. I just what? I could have gone home. He had that in his pocket. Holy. I'm like about to throw up. I'm so sorry. I can't. I
Oh my
just
god.
Oh, I'm shaking in my booties.
I'm like oh my goodness.
Oh my god. Oh, can we stop recording?
okay, I have to say my final words.
Sorry, Josh.
So-
I didn't mean to just I just couldn't hold it in any longer.
And with that, 5 now becomes 4. You guys seem to have possibly pulled off a blindside. It was definitely a blindside on Josh V, as he said. And with that, we may have an announcement shortly, so stay tuned.
You better.
But never get too confident. I'm going to stop the recording now.
Choo choo.